All right, guys, so we got the Archer event going right now. I want to jump in here and give you some of my opinions on some of the most asked questions during my stream. So when I was streaming, people were asking, one, what buffer should I have between me and the second place person? What number of points should I push for? If the first place person has, say, 4,000 points, should I try to beat them? And then how many points with how much energy? How much energy? So I want to answer these questions. I have a champion training calculator that I made a long time ago that should help you guys out as well, which I will link down below. But let's talk about this first one. So what buffer between me and first? Now, all of these, or at least these two, are very arbitrary numbers that could be thrown out. So numbers that really don't mean a whole lot, because some brackets people could push tons of points if they have a lot of books, but some brackets they wouldn't push anywhere close to that. But the best thing I can say is, if you want to be safe, compare what the people on the global leaderboard put up in the first hour. So at 1 hour mark during my stream, we had the global person number 1 with 80,000 points, and then the global 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at 24,000. So 24,000 down there, 80,000 up there. That was in an hour. So let's say you did 30,000 points. You had a 30,000 point buffer between you and second place. You'd be pretty safe to think, okay, it'd probably take them about an hour to fill that gap. Of course, they could do it a lot quicker, or they may not ever even touch that. But if you're holding a 30,000 point gap, it's going to be enough for you to most likely see if that person's actually moving. And some of these players in the tournaments may actually win it with 30,000 points, and your second place person may never even compete with you, which is what I would love to see here. It may or may not happen, but right now I'm at 75,000 points. I personally don't like the stress of people getting close. So I'm probably going to push up to 100,000 plus and then watch from then on out, because I know, hey, if I'm gone for a few hours and I come back and this person's gone up to 20,000 points, well, they're potentially threatening where I'm at. Even though it's a huge gap, they've already passed the number of the top reward. There's no reason to continue for second place. So I need to actually be more mindful and start investing some more resources, or be careful about what I'm actually doing. So for me, bigger gap is better. But for majority of players, if you are holding a 30,000 point gap, you're going to be safe for an hour most likely. Now, of course, players can book out champions and get that number of points in a matter of minutes. But realistically, if the top players are pushing up this much points in the first hour, that's going to be a pretty safe number for you, at least in my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think down below. So the next thing is, if first place person is at a low number, so like if the first place person is at 4,000 points, you log in, you go to your tournament, and you see first place person is at 2,000 points. Should you push? Well, there's some tricky things there. When you first log into the game, you're going to be put into a bracket where players could have been playing for a little while already, but most likely they're going to be relatively fresh with you in your tournament bracket. For me, I specifically logged into the game as soon as this tournament started, so I was already in the game in hopes that players that I got matched with actually left their computers on overnight, left the game open overnight, so they're getting put into brackets that they may not even be wanting to do champion training. They're just getting put in automatically, may not be paying attention, in hopes, honestly, to when they wake up or when they come to their computer, see, oh dang, the first place person has a lot of points. That was my goal. But if you log in later during the day and you jump in, you think, okay, the tournament's been going on for, say, 10 hours now, and the first place person has 2,000 points, you gotta be very careful, because that first place person may have actually been put into a tournament the same time you were. So pay attention to the tournament ending time. Yours is probably different than mine, because this is pretty important. You could be in a group that's very fresh and you have plenty of time left. So be mindful about that. But even when you're looking at the first place person, the thing you need to think about is, if you're looking at the first place person and thinking, okay, they have 4,000 points, I may be able to boost past them, let's go for it. Know that if you're thinking that, you have a 99 other people in your tournament, 98, I guess technically, who are looking at that first place person and thinking the same thing. The sooner you pull the trigger and go for it and surpass them by quite a bit, you're going to either encourage people to begin competing with you, or you're going to discourage them from ever competing. And you're going to be able to tell very quickly, once you get past the, say, 15,000 point mark, if players are going to threaten your lead, or if they're going to just back off and kind of give it to you. The first day doesn't say a whole lot, but once we start getting closer to the end, it's really going to be noticeable. And if you're at day 2, if you're at 2 days left and you're holding a 100,000 point lead, people probably aren't going to try. It's not very common, but it is a possibility. So just know that when you're thinking this stuff, a lot of people are thinking it as well. So the sooner you move, just like if somebody else was to, surpass first place person by 5,000 points, you're going to be like, oh crap, this person, this random person already passed first place. I'm not even going to compete. So something to consider there. The strategy that I do is so much less stressful than trying to snipe people and catch up, which is just go hard in the beginning, make your gap, and then just maintain the gap and just slowly increase it over time. Because it is very difficult. I've experienced it, trying to climb up and match the person. You can snipe, and sometimes it pays off, but it's a very difficult thing to do. So the sooner you decide on how many points you're going for, which is a big thing. I've said this many times, but decide how many points you want to go for. If you want to go for 70,000 points and you're done, do that. Don't plan on going significantly over. Maybe first place person stops at 72,000 and you're like, dang, I'm 2,000 points short. Well, they stopped at that just luckily. Maybe they could have gone to 90,000 and now all of a sudden you're stretching yourself way thinner than you need to. You're messing up your account. You're ruining future fusions and all kinds of stuff. It just gets into a really bad situation very quickly. The next question that I was asked a lot of was, if I had 30,000 energy, how many points could I get? Well, I have this champion training calculator that's not going to be a perfect example of, hey, it's not going to be a perfect answer for, I have 30,000 energy, how much points can I get? Because with this, you have to have champions at specific number of 3-star champions in this example. So tomorrow, we're having that Narses event, which is going to be for 110 voids. You're going to have a lot of rank 3 champions. Say if you had 110. Well, actually, let's just do 90 for the ease of the math. So if you had 90 if you got 90 rare champions from pulling 110 void shards, which let's be honest, we probably all will get that anyways. The rates for epics and stuff is terrible. But either way, so you got 90 rare champions. So that's 90 3-star champions. You take those 90 3-star champions and you run them through campaign. You get 18 to level 30 and you get the rest of them to their efficient level. So for 3 stars, you can see down here at the bottom, it's going to be 12 to level 12, which is 3 runs, or 1 brew to level 10. So you do their efficient levels, and then you rank them up to 4-star. You hit the 4-star, you're going to take 3 of those to max level, and then you're going to run the rest through campaign to their efficient levels, which is going to be level 19, or with brews to level 18. You rank those up, and then from 5-star, you take those champions to their efficient levels. You're not going to make no 6 stars with this, but you run them through. So now, once you do this, you're going to get 28,000 points. So you just basically come in here, see how many rank 3 champions you have. For example, for me, let's come in here to my account. We can see, okay, rank 3 champions. I have a total of 33. Master Vault and Reserve Vault. I have 33 rank 3 champions right now. So not very many. I'm not going to get very many points from this. It's not going to show very much. But that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be a perfect example because you may have a lot of level 1 or rank 1 champions, a lot of rank 2 champions. So I don't have those columns here. If you want to do it and you want to make those columns, just file, make a copy, plug in your numbers here, add those columns, send me a message in Discord and I'll share that as well. Or instead, because rank 1 and rank 2 would be awesome. But either way, this is for rank 3 champions. It's relatively simple. You get ancient shards. You're going to get these rank 3 champions anyways, but it's going to be 28,000 points and it's going to be 12,000, basically 13,000 energy required. So if you're somebody who had rank 3, say that wasn't relevant, but say you had 30,000 energy. Well, we do 180 rank 3 champions, 25,000 energy required to go through and get all these leveled up, assuming Brutal Chapter 12 Stage 3, and assuming you have double XP on, so the XP banner. So with 180 3-star champions, it's going to take 25, almost 26,000 energy, which is going to be 56,000 points. And it's going to take you about 539 minutes to do so. Now, the minutes are not just, okay, you have a 10-second farmer, you're done. It's also taken into account, at least in my head, I use a Fellhound for farming, so I'm doing 5-second runs. But the reason why that says 10 seconds is because after the runs, you're going to have to go in and do the brews, you're going to have to rank the champions up, all that kind of stuff. So 539 minutes divided by 60 is going to be basically 9 hours. So you're going to have 9 hours essentially of farming. A lot of it can be done AFK, have RSL helper running, but a lot of it, you're going to have to come in here, do some brews to champions possibly, and get them ranked up. If you didn't want to use energy at all, you could do brews only, which would be 4,400 brews. And of course, you could do a mix of brews and energy, but if you only wanted to do brews, it's going to be 4,479. And then right here, we have 1 brew equals 5.78 energy. So if you go into your brew storage and you see you have 900 brews, well, or even 1,000, well, now you all of a sudden you have 5,780 energy equivalent. So brews are very valuable. When you look at it that way, brews are extremely valuable when you compare it to 12-3 Brutal, but they're even better because you're not leveling champions fully with this method. You're leveling champions the efficient method. So what you're doing is for 5-star champions, you're dropping 6 brews plus a level 1 champion. So you're getting quite a bit more points than if you were just running energy to the max level, which you can run energy to the efficient levels as well. It's just my thoughts. Basically, brews are like just points for these champion training events. whether it's for the archer or whatever champion it is, they're very, very helpful. So when you come over here, you can see all the points you get from the stuff. These are for level upgrades, rank upgrades, ascensions, and then skill tomes are added. Of course, legendary skill tomes, pretty decent if you have a lot of them. Mythical skill tomes, worth a good chunk, especially if you have a lot. But most players don't have very many mythical skill tomes. So these are the breakdowns, the questions that I had pop up quite a bit on stream today. The buffer between first place, or between me and second place. What is the low number I should push for? And then how many points can I get with the energy that I have? So just some things to think about, guys. I'm going to leave this link down below. It's kind of helpful. Like I said, if anybody out there wants to do the math and add 2-star champions or even 1-star champions as well, that'd be pretty cool. But right now, it's just you change the rank 3 number, and it just gives a general idea. It may not be this exact number for you in your situation. Maybe you have 1-star and 2-star champions. Maybe it's a mix. Maybe you have more 4-star champions. But if you're somebody who has 25,000 energy and has a similar setup to this is what it's going to be as far as points and time and brews or brutal. So 4,000 brews for 56,000 points. Not very efficient, to be honest. That's fully leveling the champions with these brews versus, well, that's doing the full experience. I never fully level champions with brews. I always go for just take them to the efficient level because brews are so valuable. I have to save them as much as I possibly can. I'd rather just level champions in campaign. Which, speaking of, with the raid pass on, which I highly recommend getting, you can actually click the link down below for BlueStacks. Download BlueStacks, go to the Google Play Store, and then you can pick up the raid pass, which it's not showing here because this is Plarium Play, but this is the raid card. You won't have this tab, if you haven't bought it. So you got it, the raid card right there. It's $10 a month. I just do it for this champion training, but it gives you extra campaign experience and silver. But for Nightmare specifically, it actually allows you to take your rank 1 champions through one time and get on max level. You can see here. So as far as Nightmare campaign farmers go, I use my Ray. I was using Wukong. He does it fairly fast. Georgia did it. It's kind of weird. He didn't kill a Kymar one time, which was really strange because he's geared pretty well. But I'll show you some of the builds of my Nightmare farmers I was using. I was doing 12-6 because it's a little bit easier. But one run gets him level 10. If you don't have the raid card, it's like 2 runs basically because you can't do 1.5 runs. But so it's gonna be 16 energy. So it's not really worth it then. But here, it's very, very good value. So let's go for another campaign farmer, Sun Wukong. I'll show you him. Now he's geared pretty well, but he was doing it, and he was doing it, well, 100%. It was between like, I think the best was like 12 or 13 seconds, and the slowest was like 22 seconds when I had some legendary food, and they were getting some turns. We're like right here, weak hits, not a huge deal. Get some kills, 11 seconds. There we go, 11 seconds Sun Wukong farm, not too bad whatsoever. Magic Affinity champions, Void Affinity champions are gonna be the best. But if you have Sun Wukong, you should. Hopefully you do. You can use him. Let's see about my Georgid. Georgid works well, but he needs to be built pretty fast and needs to be, built for damage, which I don't know what else your Georgid would be for. Support? He ain't supporting nothing other than killing the enemy, but he ain't taking no hits, that's for sure. But here, he just slices and dices. Boom, A3, A2. A1, don't worry, he's getting a few more turns. Extra turn, A3, A2. Then here, A3, A2. Now, I don't know why he's not killing Kymar here. So like he just is weak sometimes. My Georgid is weak. Not your Georgid. Your Georgid's good. If you have him, your Georgid's built well. Mine, well, I don't know about that. Sometimes he's a little finicky, apparently. So we'll do recently used. Let's see. My Wukong is pretty good and lethal. Pretty good stats. Not the best, but I'd say pretty good. Almost 8,000 attack. Good crit damage. So maybe you can reach these stats. Maybe you can't. His masteries are right here. My Ray is right here. She's +4. Once again, may not be achievable. Eryx can also do this. She's in Rathalos plus Cruel. Once again, pretty high stats. May or may not be achievable, but Georgid's right here. He's pretty fast. He could be built even better, but he's pretty fast right now, 273. Good attack, good crit damage. And the masteries, there we go. And then Eryx. Eryx did do it, and I'll show you guys her as well. So Eryx, free champion, can do it. She's the build that I have for spider farming. It's not crit capped though, so something to be mindful of there. Good HP, good speed, crit rate, crit damage. I'll show you guys how she does it as well. Let's see, Eryx. There we go, Eryx right there. Bada bing, bada boom, and 1 and 2 star champs. Come in here, 1, 2, 3. See how fast she does it. So now you got some campaign farmers, potentially for Nightmare, especially if you're using the raid pass. And You want to level 1-star champions. Eric's is going to be the slowest of the ones because she likes to use her buff for whatever reason. Nobody's attacking you, Eric. You don't need to use that buff. You would save your life if you just use A2 into A3, but you're liking to waste time doing these shenanigans. So when it comes to campaign farming and Nightmare, it's not really worth it in my opinion if you're going super slow because you could do several brutal runs. However, on the flip side, if you don't have unlimited energy and you just need to get efficient runs, this is going to be better for you because this is doing the one run with the 10th level or the 1-star champions. You don't need more. It's 23 seconds, but unless you're in crunch time, like at the very end of the event, there's no reason to, worry that much about speed because you don't have unlimited energy. Now, if you have unlimited energy, it's a different story. You need to go absolutely as fast as you can. So guys, that's my breakdown with this event. If you have any questions, if you have anything else you're wondering, let me know down in the comment section below. I plan to stream tomorrow again in the morning or sometime tomorrow, ideally. Jump in here, do some more champion training, continue progressing and kind of pushing up points. But I'll push up points throughout the day. My goal was 100,000 by the end of the day. We'll see how that works. Global leaderboard, I am 7th currently. So we're still holding pretty good up on the top. And the thing I wanted to talk about is we have the Narcissus event coming up. So you're going to have some rare champions. So maybe, like I said, you do 90. Well, here you go. 90 champs. If you had 12,000 energy, you could level them all up. No problem, except for the fact of 12,000 energy. It's a lot. And you get 28,000 points from that. Now, let's say 12,000 energy, 13,000, divided by 130. It's going to be 100 refills. 100 refills times 40 gems is going to be 4,000 gems. So 4,000 gems gives you 13,000 energy. 13,000 energy gives you 28,000 points, which will translate into champion training tournament points as well as dungeon diver points. I'm actually almost done with this event, which also translates into Blade Master Titan event points. So you got a lot of different stuff. Oh, which also translates into more silver, which translates into more artifact enhancement event stuff, which I got to go do some upgrades either way. Guys, I want to say, I got to get some more brews. My brew situation, specifically Force Affinity. I hate Force Affinity champions, guys. It's looking so bad. I literally have 0 Force Affinity brews. 0 Force Affinity brews. Don't level your incubuses because they look cool. Not a good idea. But guys, I love and appreciate all of you. Best of luck in your Archer tournament if you're going for it. I will be back again tomorrow, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later, guys.